So hi guys, everyone. I just wanted to know how many of you are freshers and how many of you are experienced people, so that we can go through the session in the same manner. If all are experienced people, we will concentrate on the experience. If people are also freshers or also there, then we'll focus on freshers topics too, like how to get into the industry and all. Uh, I prefer you to please mention in the chat box if you are freshers. Okay, Rishma. Siddhartha Wali is also a fresher. Okay, Akash, we can start, I think. Yeah, Ashwini, Ganesh.
Yeah,
Okay, I think many of them are freshers here.
yeah, I see a couple of freshers here, I think. Yeah, first of all, thank you for joining this session. I will keep this session very formal as well as informal, I would say. Yeah, this would more of be a kind of introduction on me and what I am doing. And if you guys want to know more about me, what are my key areas of expertise, I would try to help with that. And maybe going forward, we can discuss on few topics which are mostly asked by any of the freshers or with the a very minimal experience, I would say, in the industry. Yeah, like I introduced myself, Akarsh. I think I started my career in 2018 with a small startup wherein I was involved in design engineering. By that I mean I was involved in hardware design with schematics, PCBs, and later on I started exploring the embedded platform wherein I was mostly involved in C. I worked with multiple microcontrollers, very commonly known Arduinos. I worked with the ESP32. I worked with ST microcontrollers. Yeah, I think I worked with TI microcontrollers as well, a bit of DSP over there for a year. Then I think I moved to FPGAs, wherein I was working with more of like Spartan, Zinc, Altera, these kind of FPGAs, which kind of explore. I have also kind of explored the avionics with that, and yeah, I think I started my ASIC career later on as a front end ASIC design engineer, wherein I explored most of the front end quality checks, CDC, lint, STA, and also a bit of logical synthesis. Maybe I can go deep into that if folks are interested. Yeah, and presently I'm with Ericsson, Sweden. I recently moved to Ericsson, Sweden this year. Sorry, last year to 2050, sorry, 2025 November. Yeah, here I'm kind of working with a radio front end design engineer, where in mostly I work with AXI kind of a stuff rather than analog and digital conversion. But yeah, I think I've also been a part of the analog digital conversion, decimation, interpolation filters. I think most of the freshers would be aware of this decimation and interpolation filters. Yeah, this is my path in the professional world. Yeah, if anybody wants to know anything specific, please feel free to ask question or stop me at any point. Yeah, I do have a couple of things I wanted to discuss. Like I told, it is not that formal session where I have a slide and I can go through the slide and people can come up with questions. Because, like I was telling, it was with a short notice, and yeah, I was not really prepared for any of these slides. But yeah, if coming forward, people are really interested, I can come up with few slides and we can see how it goes. Yeah, firstly, I think I would like to concentrate on the freshers here because I think the most complex part of being fresher here is that finding very first job in their career, that who are very much interested in the core domain of VLSI, I would say. Yeah, I think the key takeaway for the freshers is be good with your logical stuff. I would say it's quite difficult for the freshers to get job in this era where we have AI and stuff like that. I think you kind of, I would I would really appreciate if people would like to explore the AI prompting kind of a thing. Like say suppose, yeah, I know people might not like if I start with AI, but I think that's the reality in the industry what we have. We'll have to deal with that. So I prefer the good recommendation for folks like freshers is that start using AI in your day-to-day activities. It's not that chat GPT or some generic AI which you have online, or maybe that's also a good platform to start with, but I would be really happy if you know how to set the context to the prompt. So there are multiple things in prompt engineering, which I don't want to go in detail, but maybe what is useful for the freshers here is maybe so generally in your initial days of career, if you when you manage to find a job, they generally ask you to go through the document requirement specs. They generally ask you to go through the verification plan, stuff like this. So in that sense, I think if you kind of know how to use AI, now most of the companies have integrated AI. To be frank, all the place like Ericsson itself has somewhere close to 5 AIs, which we are mandated to work with. It's not an option anymore. Now we'll have to introduce that in our day-to-day activities. So I think, yeah. Just to keep it short and precise, I would say learn how to train the AI with prompt. So there would be something called as .md file which you can generate, so that you set a context to AI. Say suppose you are doing something of repetitive work, or maybe you have a flow of writing your RTL code and you have a unique style of doing it. Then just set a context to the AI saying, okay, this is my style. I don't want any combinational loop, or I don't want any sort of lint issues coming later on, or just analyze this particular part and the rest are not of use, so that the AI can only focus on that. So similar to these contexts, so kind of context setting, this would really add a great value to your resumes. So I think freshers can start using it and exploring it a bit, and then add that in their resume, so that people really get attracted from your resume. I think other than that, it's all about your uh, college project. I generally see, or at least the place where I come from, people generally don't prefer to take any FPGA projects or VLSI project. They generally go with an Arduino project, which is quite simple to implement because you have all the stuff that is required in the internet, and you can do crazy things with that. It's not a bad platform. But then if you are ending up being in an VLSI world, then just make sure that you interface Arduino with an FPGA. I think now every college has FPGA. If you can't afford an FPGA by yourself, I think this is only for the students who are planning for their final year project. But if you are already out of your college, yeah, then maybe this doesn't make sense for you. But yeah, I'm kind of gathering information collectively for both who are pre-final year and who have finished the uh, finished their engineering and kind of looking for a job. Yeah, maybe that is the very first point where we need to do something related to the VLSI in our final year project, because that gives up a lot of value. Do you hear any kind of noise here, or it's good?
A little noise is there, but I think it's okay.
Okay, I don't know if I can fix that, but I think there is some construction going on. Can see if my laptop supports noise cancellation. Uh, I don't know.
Yeah, it is manageable, Kashmir.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then it's good. Yeah, like I was telling, it is kind of that you need to start your resume with the context of your VLSI expertise. What I mean by this is try to fill in as much as the digital part of of I would say it's more of technical digital part of your project or final year project, or if you have done any intermediate projects in that. Like say, suppose you have designed a simple motor driver in your curriculum, then maybe you can just say, I have designed a PWM with this kind of duty cycle, and this helped me in reducing the power consumption by this, and this optimized this in this way, and previous design was consuming somewhere around 10 watt of electricity, now it is reduced
Akash,
to
sorry to disturb. Noise is increasing.
I don't know if I can do something about it. Uh, I don't know, some construction started now.
Okay. Akash, do you feel it is okay for you? It's manageable. Can you please respond?
I think I can manage, but it's all about the audience if they are able to hear.
Yeah, I'm asking.
Not an option. Is it better now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Good. Good. Good.
One
Good.
small
Okay.
thing, also after completing this, we will I want you to explain with complete zero knowledge, a fresher, how what is the roadmap for them to start and get into the industry?
Yes. Yes. I'll come to that point.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. I was in the process where I'm kind of building their resume right now,
Yeah, yeah.
because that is the first step
Mhm.
where you kind of get recognized amongst multiple other people in the industry.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, I was trying to cover what you need to cover in your resume so that you stand out amongst people in the industry.
Yeah, that is very
Yeah. So most of the resumes that comes to me when I take interviews, or when I was taking interviews previously, is that they generally say I have completed this project where I try to integrate cloud with my device. I try to have an Android application to monitor this. Yeah, I know it's very simple to do from Arduino or any open source platform. People tend to get attracted with it because you can explain a lot about it. But the similar resume, if it comes to a VLSI engineer, then I would straight away say this person doesn't have anything to do with VLSI. So maybe if somebody who has already completed the final year and something has to do with this kind of project, if they have any embedded device, like say suppose you have a controller or any other thing included in your project, maybe you can focus that more in your resume and say, okay, what you exactly contributed there by adding that in your resume. uh, it is in a way that, say suppose like the PWM example which I give, maybe you would have used any analog to digital converters in there, and to measure any of your sensor data or so. I don't know the precisely about your project, but I think that's a good point to add in your resume, saying I had an ADC with a resolution of 256 bits, and I tried to connect it this way, which gave me the accuracy here. Kind of elaborate on the quantitative things. So it's more of numbers nowadays that attracts the person who is kind of going through your resume. Also try to understand the job requirement or the JD which you are applying for, and try to meld your resume accordingly. Like nowadays you have very good AI tools. Just ask it to describe your resume with the quantitative things. Say suppose you are a part of team member out of four, and what is your key contribution, and what was your contribution that helped the design to be better. I think these are the very good points that you need to cover in resume, be it a fresher or a experienced. Even for experienced, it holds good. Like say suppose you are a team of 15 people, then it's like, what did you contribute? You might say I designed a PCI Express, but an interviewer is 100% sure a single person cannot do a PCI Express by himself, then what did you contribute? Did you work on the transport layer? Did you work on the application layer? Or what layer did you work on? Did you work on the physical layer? Or what was your contribution there, which actually made an impact on the team? So I think with this AI word, what we are living with, we kind of all the resumes which you tend to upload in any of your any of the portals. At least I know it from the Ericsson perspective. If you kind of upload it from the portal, then it straight away gets screened by an AI tool, which apparently looks for the right keywords which an engineer would have set, or the manager, or be it a manager or an architect or whosoever concern it is, they would have set a few keywords. It generally compares those keywords in your resume and say, okay, this guy has to do something with what you're looking for, or it will just reject it by itself. And you are just been notified that your resume was rejected. They generally don't go to say what is the problem. So most of the problems are myself. I have faced few rejections because of these points which we tend to miss when we are applying for a job application. Sometimes I see people, they apply for an Ethernet switch job, wherein in the resume there is nowhere mentioned it as an Ethernet switch, and they are somewhere around 3 years and three plus years of experience. Doesn't really add any value if you kind of send a resume blindly. Maybe for smaller companies like a startup, yeah, people tend to read your resume completely and give a call. But if you are targeting for any MNCs, be it service or product, then now everybody is moving towards AI. So I don't see any scope that or any reason that you should kind of apply for that job in the first place. Yeah, it is little desperate when we are actively looking for job. We tend to see, okay, there is an opening, let me apply for it. But the wise way of doing that would be modify your resume. I wouldn't say bluff 100%, like I always say, but you can say, I have explored this particular part, maybe not work deep into it, which makes sense because you say, okay, I know about AXI, but I'm not worked completely on the AXI. If you are able to answer how AXI works, at least how the handshaking happens, what are the advantages with the AXI, then I think you are in a much more better place than people in the industry, because people say, I work with the AXI and they know nothing about it. So I think, yeah, this is kind of a thing where we see how resume needs to be built, because that would at least help you in scheduling interviews. Yeah, now that you have, let's say you got selected with the resume you built on for whatsoever reason it is or whatsoever job it is, then how do you prepare for the interviews? That is the very next step. Maybe I don't know for the freshers, because I think it's been a long, I think I kind of forgotten how the process was for me, I think. But yeah, nevertheless, I can just say it generally starts with a HR call where they kind of ask, okay, are you open for job? I see your profile here, and what is your total years of experience? And then they eventually come up to a question where, do you have any notice period, or do you have any sort of offer right now, or what is your salary expectation? And most people, when they start speaking with their colleagues in the industry, they feel, okay, I am also 5 years experience, and the other person is also 5 years experience, and he's getting some 20 LPA and I'm just getting 10 or maybe less. Then they tend to start comparing and what is missing with me and stuff like that. I think that's a good way for you to develop, but I would strongly say it's not the right way of seeing things. It should be an incremental growth in your career. Like if you need to first focus on the skill set what you have, and then maybe concentrate on the salary part. But yeah, to answer the HR's question, make 100% sure that you are not asking anything more than 30% of your base salary. Because why I'm saying that is, maybe this is your first interview after you decide to move on from the present organization. Then just say, okay, I would like to go with the industrial standard for a 5 years old person, and just be sure that you say, okay, this is my package. I think I can expect what a 5 year guy can earn, so that you leave the decision up to them based on that. Like, my idea here is, once you say that, the HR is convinced that there is no fixed money that is there in your mind, based on the interview and your skill set, then they come up with a figure, then you can negotiate. You are at least confident that, okay, company wants me enough. If you bluntly say, no, I'm earning 10 LPA and I want 18 LPA, then maybe you are remote right there. She'll say, that's too much to ask, and we cannot afford that. But if you still clear the interview and you ask, okay, now that I have cleared interview, you know what is my skill set, what are my skills here, I think I deserve this much. Maybe that's a good way of negotiating, so that the company is also aware that you can negotiate on this part. Yeah, now that we came to the salary and negotiation, how do we do the negotiation? The next step would be the technical interview, which you will get. So you will have to excel in the technical interview somehow. So generally, technical interview happens with a pattern. You will have to kind of say, be it fresher or experience. I think instead of freshers might have a what is that round called? Where we have the aptitude kind of a question. I don't remember the round. It's called aptitude.
Festival exam.
Yeah, I think it's an aptitude round or something. I don't remember what is it exactly called as. But yeah, I think that's the very first round or filtering round for freshers. Maybe that is up to you. How do you prepare for that? I think maybe Sai is expert over there. I'll leave it to Sai. uh, that is not my area of expertise. But yeah, I think maybe that aptitude round is only restricted to freshers, and if you are 2 years or 3 years of experience, nobody even asks for an aptitude round anymore. Yeah, I think okay, somebody has posted it. It is written test. Okay, but nice to know. uh, yeah, I think yeah. Once you are sorry, I was in course of something. I missed it. Okay. I think, yeah, we were discussing about the technical round preparation. If you ask me, it happens with a pattern. So they generally ask, what is your experience till date? So we will have to briefly explain your experience over there. Majorly, I can understand there are few technical person like me, which who have worked in multiple domains. I have worked with hardware design, schematics, PCB, embedded, FPGAs, front end. So then it will be a bit challenge to answer this question, because though everything is connected, but maybe the interviewer is not interested in it. So then we'll have to somehow say how it is connected, and how and why I ended up there. Maybe we can explain about this is part of your self introduction. You'll have to introduce in a way that, okay, interviewer is not bored. By that, what I mean to say is, okay, freshers, I can understand they don't have much to say. They'll have to brief about their final year projects, what did they do, what are their achievements, like if you have any paper presentation and you have your publications by your college. I think, yeah, that is what I used to do. At least I think it's kind of a filler. We cannot keep the interview blank, so it's kind of a filler. But for the experience, that is a very first step, and that is a very important step, I would say, because whatever the coming questions would be based on what you say, okay, I have done it. If you say I have done it, be 100% sure that you have done it. If you cannot answer something which you have done it, then the immediate uh, thing the interviewer will say is, you cannot answer what you have done. I'm now really doubting on your resume. Though he doesn't say it on your face, but that will be that with the mindset of that, he'll carry out the interview, and it will be very difficult for you to come out of that. So I think you just try to tell him, okay, if at all you have, like, let me give an example of mine itself. Say, suppose I say I have worked with a protocol called Ring 818, which is a very old protocol, also a very effective protocol for avionics. If I say have you developed it from the scratch within a year, nobody will say you have done it, because it's not possible. Or if it is possible, then you are really a talented person and you should be offered then and there. But yeah, it doesn't go that way, and it takes its own time, because there is an R&D, the process that is involved. Some few things, it will work, but few things you'll have to implement and kind of say, okay, this is possible and this is not possible, and if it is not possible, why it is not possible. Yeah, so then when you kind of say, okay, I did this, and I did this, then okay, then there is a confidence by an interviewer saying, okay, this guy has done this. Then they will start asking on that. So
So I have a few doubts. Am I
yeah,
audible?
you're audible.
So I came up. You told that you are working as an ASIC design engineer at Ericsson, right?
Yes.
So I basically came across this role called ASIC engineer at Ericsson.
Mhm.
So I applied for it. That they are currently hiring in Bangalore location. So I applied
Yes.
for it. I got shortlisted, and
Okay.
today was the interview. Due to some technical reasons, they have aligned it on next week. So
Okay. Mhm.
am I audible, right?
Yeah, you're audible.
So if it's okay, then I can post the job role. I had few questions on it. And the chat
Sure.
box, can I post the job role?
Yeah. You can post it maybe after this. I will just complete whatever is there in my mind, and maybe after that we can discuss on few
No, I
questions.
had the same questions on what you are talking. So that's why I wanted to clear now it will.
Okay.
If it's, then we can go on now it will.
Yeah, develop, improve the state of the design, the spins, collaborate with, verify. Yeah, I think it's a very generic job description what you have posted. May I know what is your experience here?
So I'm a fresher. I'm a trained fresher in verification domain, in design and verification. My question
Okay.
was, during the interview, here they in the job role, they have specified that improve your state on design as well as the verification, right?
Yes.
So my
Yeah.
question was, will they
Mhm.
ask questions on design or the verification? Because I'm trained in verification part, right? That's why.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That.
will they ask some technical questions on design or the verification? So that's why.
Yeah.
And you also told that depending on the projects, right? I have done my projects in NXI protocols.
Mhm.
So what kind of questions they might ask? So that's one
Okay.
doubt.
So yeah. I will answer your question. Maybe I'll take a pause of what I was kind of explaining.
Okay.
Maybe Sai can remind me of what I was discussing. I generally lose a track of it.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, yeah, I think I was explaining about. I think I lost.
Technical
Yeah,
discussions.
Technical round you're talking about.
yeah. Just keep a note so that I don't miss it.
Sure.
Yeah, I think Ganesh. In Ericsson, it's basically the designation is ASIC design engineer, be it a verification engineer or a design engineer or a design lead as well. So they don't bifurcate between the design lead, design engineers, or a member of technical staff or stuff like that. It's just a ASIC design engineer. But to answer your question, if they ask for design questions or the verification questions, since you are fresher, then they might ask you design questions as well.
Okay.
Uh, this is because to understand, so it's also a duty of a verification engineer that He just doesn't report a fake violation, or if he doesn't report something which is with test bench issue, and he comes to a design engineer and say there is a problem in the design. So in that sense, they generally ask some questions related to the design. It not be a very deep design stuff, but like if you say, if you want to test AXI, you need to know how AXI works, right?
Yes.
So that's a part of design, I would say. If you know how to work with the AXI in the design, then you know how what to verify in the design. Say suppose there is a narrow transaction, there is an outstanding transaction, or there is some transaction which is memory wrapped, or there is some transaction, different operation that AXI can do, right? So if you kind of understand how it is different and why it is different from one another, maybe we can work collaboratively when you are in Ericsson.
No, the interview is scheduled today, but due to some technical reasons, they have scheduled it on next week, I think. So that's my question. I am purely, I'm trained fresher in verification itself, but they might ask some questions on design like static timing analysis and
No,
clocking
no,
document, like those
no. I'm
types of
not
questions.
expecting that level of design questions for a verification engineer.
Okay.
Uh, Static timing analysis is completely a different topic altogether, because there you need to know how a flop and how are the different parts.
Okay.
You know, it is from the pin to flop, flop to flop, flop to pin, or pin to pin. It could be anything. So you need to understand design little deep to come there, I think. For freshers, it doesn't make sense they're asking that. But if you have good understanding of that, maybe it's nothing wrong, you can answer those questions. But if they are even asking that questions, you can just say maybe this is my expertise, but not gone that far in the design,
Yeah.
because verification was my key
It's
area.
on the surface level, that's it. Like definition kind of things, right? So I only
Yeah,
know the definition kind of things. So that's what.
yeah. It's good to know the definition and stuff. Like I was telling it, there is nothing wrong learning things. But if somebody is asking you, because generally what happens in the interview is like it's a general discussion. What usually happens, they would have set of questions that they want to tick mark as a part of interview guidelines. If they are going by that guidelines, I think they'll never come to IST and stuff. But if there is a discussion, and if he feels you are good enough to answer those questions, I think then he might ask bit about it. But I think it should not be a judging factor for your interview.
Yes. So
Thank you.
this company is purely based on telecommunication, right? Ericsson is based on telecommunication.
Yes.
So is it
Ganesh,
like something related?
can we discuss this at the end of the session?
Okay.
People are feeling, I don't know why people are leaving 4 members of
Oh,
the
okay.
session.
Okay.
Yeah,
You can go on. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can take it up at the QA so that people can just
Fine.
leave if they're interested.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to disturb. And we are at technical discussion.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Yeah. So yeah, I was trying to help with the technical discussion. So it's when you introduce about yourself and describe about your technical skill set, I think you will have to be very cautious that when you say I have done it, then you should have done it. Or maybe if you have not done it and you want to explain things about it, then be sure that you kind of know in and out of that particular thing. Like say suppose if you say PCI, then there might be a lot of questions. They might go to the byte and alignment, they might go to the clock synchronization, they might go to 8-bit 10-bit encoding decoding. Yeah, I don't want to bore you by that topic, but I'll keep that to a technical discussion topic, but not tough. But yeah, if you are kind of explaining that to the interviewer, then please expect the next half an hour of your interview would be on that. Once you are out of the technical discussion, then I wouldn't say it is out of technical discussion, but they come out of your profile and they ask what they wanted from you. It's mostly after that they kind of look into your technical skills. But what I mean to say is, like, say suppose you are a design engineer and they generally ask you to write a small FSM, be it sequence detector or any stuff it is. I would say it this way, then it could be a sequence detector, it could be a pulse extender, it could be edge detectors, anything. It could be anything of this sort. Then if you have written it well, then they might ask, how do you optimize it? So generally, a trick what I would suggest here is write a code which can be optimized, so that, okay, they know, yeah, he knows to optimize. It's a trick. It's all about how you, sometimes you need to do the trick to get into that place. Yeah, I mean, you can write a very, very bad code in the beginning and beautify it later on if you have the capability of doing it. Yeah, I mean, it's just a suggestion. I'm not recommending it. Yeah, but maybe after that, they straight away jump to QCs. So, but what I mean by QC is lint, CDC, RDC, synth, these kind of stuff. This would be good for both freshers and experienced. I think experienced would have already come across these terminologies, but freshers, please try to explore this a lot. There is one site called, I keep forgetting, EDA something. Maybe I can paste it in the chat later on.
It's a
Or
EDA playground.
EDA Playground is for the for you to practice RTL and write DB for that. But there is one EDA platform where it gives different types of CDC mechanism what we have, with a very detailed explanation and diagram. I think if you go through that, it should help you a lot in clearing interviews, where it kind of explains different types of CDC techniques that we generally come across in the ASIC design, and the different types of RDC techniques that we come across in the ASIC design. I recommend that it's just a Google search of CDC and EDA, then Google is smart enough to end you up there. Yeah, I think we need to kind of be sure of all these quality checks. And maybe this will happen for another 20 minutes. First half an hour is what you introduce and questions about that, and next 20 minutes is for you to prove your technical skills on what you have explained. Like, say suppose you know system Verilog, you know Verilog, then expect questions on that. And later on, it is like all the QCs which you have worked with. I think by then your 1 hour session would be easily covered by then. Yeah, then make sure you ask interviewer for your feedback. It's not that you ask him directly that, am I selected? That doesn't make sense. Nobody will say you're selected or not at that right moment. But you just ask them in a way that, okay, since we have spoken for an hour, can you suggest me something which I can improve upon? By that, you know what is your interview feedback in a way. Maybe everybody doesn't say it, but somebody says, okay, I analyzed your skills, you need to improve on this. It's two advantages. When you ask that question, you know what really you need to improve upon, and you really know whether you are qualified for next round. It's a trick again, but make sure you ask that so that you can improve on your skills for the next interview as well. Just ask him, okay, or her, just what do you think I should improve upon? It's a very simple question you can ask anybody. Yeah, I think by that the interview process is over, and you just need to wait for the next round possible. But next round, if you are getting selected to the next round, be sure that you need to be prepared more or better, I would say. Yeah, I think it goes in a similar fashion. Any interview, it is like this. You need to explain about yourself, then make sure you prove yourself, and then improve your RTL skills or design skills. Then I think, yeah, I think somebody raised hands, or is it Raji or somebody?
Yeah, it was Raji. Raji, do you have any doubts?
No, sorry. Actually, that was by
Okay,
mistake. Sorry.
okay.
Sorry to
Okay, no
disturb.
worries.
Sorry.
No worries, no worries, no worries. Okay. Then I think we have almost completed the interview discussion. Maybe if everything goes well, then you would have an HR round. Uh, HR rounds are not taken that seriously if it is service companies, but if it is a product based company, then they take HR round as a very serious one. Until and unless you are not less than 5 years experience. After 5 years, they generally don't take HR rounds. Yeah, it's mostly about the salary discussion. I think I also discussed that in very first, saying, okay, now you have rights to ask whatever is there in your mind. Then you can say, okay, I want 15 lakhs. If HR agrees, they agree. Otherwise, they'll say, no, it's not possible, out of budget and stuff. Then you can say, okay, what is the maximum you can support for this role, because I'm also 5 years experience and I also need to relocate and stuff like that. Maybe you can briefly describe about your situation, and it is not that I have personal loans and stuff like that. Then they will it's not really honored and it is not professional as well. But you can still say, I need to relocate for this location and I need to carry my family and stuff, which makes sense for me. I think, yeah, that is what I wanted to tell about the interview process and how to reach up there. Now, if anybody has any sort of questions, maybe we can discuss.
Sorry to disturb. One small thing, Akash.
Hmm.
I also wanted you to explain, like, after entering into the industry, like, what are the things that a manager expects from the candidate, and how to perform, and how to be visible, and how
Okay.
to develop in career.
Okay. So this is a tricky question, I would say, because since the judging factor is not defined, we need to constantly ask manager or anybody or the lead or anybody who is your point of contact. I think you need to constantly ask them what is the expectation here, and you can take their feedback just by asking, okay, was this what we were planned is met? So most of the time, the Jira itself says your work is done or not. Now everybody is following Jira. I think Jira itself says, okay, you had so many points on this and you have completed this and you have not completed this. That means to say you lack somewhere. And if you are lagging somewhere, you need to ask, or you need to, it's like communication basically. You need to ask your manager, where should I improve upon? Or if it is evident from the Jira, then you have it in your face.
And one thing I noticed, this is from mostly AMD people who give podcasts, and my manager also. They are expecting, what is the work given to you, have you done, and if you're having any doubts, they will suggest a manner procedure to do that. But even though after doing that, they are expecting you to do what, check what are the other possibilities, and what are all the other ways we can have to do the task, and have you tried
Mm.
that one or not. So I've seen in many podcasts that what are the other possible ways, have you tried that ways or not, is also one important thing. And they are expecting to do more than the task given to them. They are expecting the you
Yeah.
have to take the ownership of the given task, complete
Yes.
ownership.
Yes. Yeah. In a way, it's true, and it is this way. I think it works this way. So, say suppose you have done a job. Like, let me say, I have written an RTL code, and that RTL code covers all the functionality. but I have messed it up while writing it. I have no indentation. I have nothing that is looking aesthetically fine, and I have not written ideal in a way it has to be. Uh, that way, it is like I have not taken that as an ownership of mine. I just completed my task for the sake of completing it. In in that way, yes, it's a valid point from him saying, yeah, you should have taken ownership and written it in a better way, so that if somebody comes later on and want to understand what is the article you have written, it should be readable. This is one of the example. Each task is different. Like say, suppose CDC you are doing, you have written a waiver for it, and the waiver is like 2,000 lines, and you have not said, okay, this is for this particular module and this is for this particular module. Then it doesn't really make sense to have that waiver. It's this way. Like it is basically how sometimes it is how presentable it is, and how better it is for the other person to read. uh, that helps a lot. It's for you also. Like sometimes if you want to debug it later on, you will feel what code I have written. Yeah, being a freshers or 3-4 years experience, I think we tend to do this mistake, but later on as we get experienced, then we kind of get used to it.
Yes. So now we are open for questions.
Yeah, I can see if any questions we have. Okay, I think I can start from Reshma. When do companies start hiring for freshers? Okay. Yeah, there is no specific time I would say, but mostly it is during the financial year, start of the financial year. So say suppose it is kind of April to June, I would say, and few openings come up in the month of November. Yeah, it's like this. So say suppose in the financial year they have achieved all the tasks with the existing force, then they don't want to come up with any new openings. But if it's most unlikely situation, most of the time we are way back than what we have planned, then we kind of take some help from the freshers who can do the repetitive jobs, like say suppose the document modification and stuff like this. That's a good way to learn things, I if you ask me. Like the in and out of the design by making that document, I would say. Yeah, I think it's to answer your question, maybe it is right time from April to June and July in India. Okay. I think Ganesh, I did answer your question probably.
Yes, sir. It's that's what my question was. And do they ask only on design, or will they ask on verification also? So I
Yeah,
thought.
yeah, yeah. I think I gave you a good explanation about it.
And my another question was, it's like Ericsson is purely in telecommunication, right?
Mhm.
So what does a verification and design engineers do in telecommunication domain? During the interview, what kind of questions do I expect? Since they are telecommunication, right? What kind of questions in telecommunication can I expect?
Yeah, it is basically more of what you know, right? Like they generally don't ask something what they know.
Okay.
It's mostly about what you know and what you have claimed in your resume that you know this.
Okay.
Yeah. If you have claimed that I can transmit 6G in a second, then expect questions on that.
Yes, for that's what projects they have done. So based on that only, you can ask.
Yeah, mostly you can expect questions on that.
Okay.
Okay, Siddhar. Okay, how is your name pronounced? Which industry domain have more okay, this is a nice question actually. Yeah. uh, to be frank, I myself have not experienced PD part of the world, but I do have experienced the verification and design part. I would say it's your personal choice. uh, More opportunities I see in verification nowadays, because it's the proportion in for the design and the verification in the team is almost like 30% designers and 70% verifiers. So it's incremental that way. So you kind of get more jobs on the verification, and I wouldn't say design is bad, but yeah, you need to be really good if you want to end up in design. Uh, okay. Yeah, is that possible to get job in VLSI domain without taking training after completing BTech? Eh, yeah, I think uh, it's this way. I would say it is 100% possible. I'll not say no for it. It is 100% possible because I never took any sort of training when I came out of engineering. But now it is not the same situation nowadays, because now no company is ready to spend on training a fresher. They want a fresher to come and start working from the day one. So in that sense, you will have to, or you may have to kind of take some sort of training to understand, okay, this is how it works. This is a nice question actually. I'll not suggest idea because it should be unique and I cannot force that. And also I'm not that I don't have anything in my mind to suggest on the projects, but I can tell you this way, some try focusing on the FPGA projects, but it might be a bit costlier when you're an engineering student. But I think any college should have an FPGA board that they can lend it for this final year project. You ultimately have to create .bit file and dump it to the FPGA to achieve the functionality. So I would say do something on the FPGA which is more interesting. You will start to understand RTL design. You will start to code it in a very good way, and you will not get any RTL code in the Google. You will have to stand by your own.
And
Yes.
Vivado is the free tool where I can have to do projects.
Sorry.
Vivado is the free tool we are having to do the projects. Only FPGA board costs us mostly.
Yeah, I think Vivado is a free tool. Any college will nowadays have FPGA boards. I'm pretty much sure on that. Yeah, I noticed there were hiring candidates who passed out 2020 or earlier. May I know are not been considered? Okay. Uh, to be frank, I have not gone to the fresher market in a while. Uh, but I think it should be, they should start considering the freshers by now. I think 2025 batch is already out, right? Sorry, or you have any idea?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think they should start considering it. I don't see a point they shouldn't be considered. Yeah, like I told you, I don't have 100% knowledge on this. Maybe I'm not
Yeah,
wrong.
by discussing with other people, I got to know that people who have just passed out may not have that technical strongness in UVM, SVUVM, and RTL design Verilog. So they are expecting at least 6 months of training, I felt. And the people also said like that. They are,
Hmm.
as you said, the companies are directly looking for the people who already got trained or if if not also get trained outside, they're expecting the people who are having good knowledge on SVUVM and who can at least write randomizations, cards, strings, and all. So
Yeah,
that's what I think.
yeah. I think Sai answered it for you. Yeah. Any more questions, or maybe we can wind up here.
And Akash, can you give me
Mm-hmm.
a roadmap for freshers and seniors as well, like a process to prepare and get a job? So the best process.
Yeah, I think there is nothing called best process in this, but it's all about how you train yourself. I would say. So basically, like I explained in for a while now, I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how the process is for anybody in the industry, be it experienced freshers or your 20 years experienced. This is the process. But yeah, the challenge with the freshers is that they need to know more things because they are freshers. So if you say you are 5 years in the industry, then people kind of understand that okay, he knows something about the industry. But if you say you are a fresher, then they tend to ask very basic logic design questions. So say suppose let it be a FSM design. How do you define? Like say suppose there is Mire, More, these kind of stuff. So very basic things which I think most of the engineering students would have left when they are only considered for the exam purpose. But yeah, now it is your bread and butter. So you have to little bit deep dive there and kind of you should be expert in writing in FSM. I'm not say expert, but at least to a good level. You make a small transition mistake, that is okay, but if you are not able to design FSM at all, then yeah, it's a disaster. So yeah, it starts from very basic logic design things to understand how a gate works, how different types of FSM you can design, and what is what and what is advantages where. So these kind of very generic questions, if you tend to prepare, and then I think you should be able to clear interviews. Yeah, if you see the roadmap, the very first step in your roadmap is creating a resume, a beautiful resume, I would say, filled with technical skills. And the next step is to speak well with the HR in a confident way. Just don't get nervous and stuff. And yeah, I think the next step is like the logical design questions, which you need to be really strong. Then, yeah, like I was telling, if you are able to understand how AI works, then you are in very good situation there. Yeah, that would be the roadmap or the path, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Okay. Now, could you suggest the free courses where we can prepare, if any? Uh, I don't think VLSI has a free course altogether
Opera.
because uh, yeah, any C or anything embedded, you would
క్లాస్
get
ఉంది చేస్తా.
a free course.
పెద్దమ్మ ఇంట్లో ఉన్నా,
uh,
క్లాస్లో ఉన్నా, మళ్ళీ చేస్తా.
but VLSI, it's really challenge to get a free course. Yeah, like I was telling, if you are really interested, maybe that EDA and platform you can explore, but that will not give you a industrial level things there. But yeah, it if you are kind of want to take out the creamy layer of this stuff without deep diving, then there are lot many websites where similar to EDA which you can use. But I at least I have not come across anything which is free in VLSI. When there are any openings of freshers in your company. Yeah, I think I forgot his name. I think Ganesh.
Ganesh.
Ganesh has mentioned that he is also a fresher and found an opening in my company. Maybe you can give a try. I don't know. Yeah, I cannot definitely say it's still valid now, or they are still considering profile for it. It's not my department, but yeah, there are quite few openings in Ericsson. I can say that.
And if you come up any openings, please let us know in our community, Akash.
Sorry.
I mean, if you come to know that if you are having any opportunities in Ericsson, we will we'll let these guys know in the community group.
Sure, sure, sure. You can post it in the community with the job ID. Maybe I can refer as well if you want.
Mm.
But you should come up with a job ID, or else I'll not be able to help.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, you will have to come up with job IDs. Okay, then I think we don't have any more questions. Uh, yeah,
Yeah. Thank you all for attending this session, and thanks Akash for having this wonderful session.
yeah. Thank you for joining at least, for bearing me for an hour.
It was nice session. And
Thank
guys,
you.
for everyone, for everyone attended this session, I will be connecting a one-on-one for everyone. So in this one-on-one, we can discuss about the resume, how to modify the resume. We will give some resume formats for you, which are already used by the seniors and got selected into the interviews. And we will also discuss how to, how to modify the resume such that AI engine can detect the keywords that in the resume we are having. And we will give some interview questions for your reference. As I said in the bonuses, I'll be providing everything. So all of you can ping me in the WhatsApp, directly DM me, and we can, whenever you are having a free time, we can schedule one-on-one and we can discuss. And I will be providing as per your resume format and your skills. We will prepare a 90-day roadmap. Uh, Even though if your guys are not yet interested in the course, but the roadmap I will be providing. It is free of cost, nothing will be charged. You can start preparing and you can start hunting for jobs.
Yeah.
This will be helpful for you.
I think I would like to add one more point with this concern.
Sure.
Yeah, I think we started this program. I think at least I and me we discussed this program to in a notion to help people in getting up a job. If it is this information is sufficient for you to get into a job, we are happy. But if you are planning to take a course, then I'm pretty much sure you'll end up in a better place. So I think we have kind of discussed what we want to cover on the technical perspective so that you kind of end up in a better place. So I think it's worth spending time with our team here, and you can make use of the platform here.
Yeah, thank you, Akash. And guys, how do you feel about this session? Is it helpful for you? And if you want any changes or any other things, we can do that. And
Yeah, maybe you can send a survey form to these folks, probably whoever is interested in filling it. We can take that as an feedback, and maybe we can focus on that, whatever they are interested on.
sure, sure,
That also helps. Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
And we have one of our old friends, Rahul here.
yeah, yeah. I-
Rahul, are you available? Thank you, Reshma. Thanks for your feedback.
Hey, hi Akash. After a long time, hope you
yeah.
remember.
Yes, yes.
How are you?
Good, good, good. Thanks for asking. How
Yeah,
are you?
yeah, it was a very great session. I was there. Uh,
Nice, 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 nice. Yeah.
And it's a good work. I initiated these things.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think a lot of time.
Hope I can contribute something.
Yeah, sure.
Otherwise, also, if you guys have anything, maybe you can ping in the chat. Rather, don't DM me directly because I might not be in a position to answer everybody. But I think Sai is a good
Yeah, yeah,
contact
please
point.
ping in the community and I will be answering. If anything is
Yeah.
there that I am unable to answer at the time with special request, Akash will be joining and he will be answering.
Sure, sure. I can help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay then.
Have a great weekend, guys. Bye bye.
Yeah, yeah. You too.
Yeah. Thanks, Akash. Thanks everyone for joining. Yeah, we'll wind up the session.